Imagine a time long ago the world was a tapestry woven with empires and cultures. Into this world a figure appeared like a comet, blazing and unforgettable. This was Alexander the Great. His story is vast, a tale of ambition, conquest and change. He reshaped the known world in a short time. His impact was immense, altering the human landscape. He connected distant peoples and spread ideas like seeds. These seeds grew into new civilizations and ways of thinking. His life was brief, barely 33 years, yet his legacy stretches across millennia. We still study and marvel at him. Why does he matter after so many centuries? Because his story is fundamental. It speaks to human potential, drive and conflict. He was a unifier and a destroyer, a complex figure. He lived at a fulcrum point in history, becoming the agent of change. His actions set new courses and charted new destinies. Consider the audacity. A young king from Macedon, a small kingdom in northern Greece, dared to challenge Persia, the superpower of its day. It was like David versus Goliath on an international scale. He did not just challenge, he conquered. He marched thousands of miles, fought legendary battles, and founded cities. He changed the map of the world. His journey is a testament to what one individual can achieve or set in motion. Alexander was born in Pella, the capital of Macedon, in 356 BC. His father, King Philip II, transformed Macedon into a dominant Greek power. He created a professional army and perfected the Macedonian phalanx. His mother, Olympias, was fiercely determined. Alexander was tutored by Aristotle, who instilled a love of knowledge. The famous story of Bucephalus showed his bravery and intelligence. Philip II was assassinated, and Alexander became king at 20. He swiftly crushed rebellions, securing his power in Greece. The stage was set for his great adventure towards the Persian Empire. In 334 BC, Alexander led his army across the Hellespont, entering Asia. He was invading the Achaemenid Persian Empire ruled by Darius III. Alexander's army, though smaller, was composed of veterans, highly disciplined and ready. His mission was to liberate the Greek cities in Asia Minor and punish the Persians for past invasions of Greece. But Alexander's ambition likely went much further. He saw an opportunity for glory and conquest. The first major battle was at the Granicus River, a risky engagement where the Persians held the high ground. Alexander led his companion cavalry, charging directly at the enemy. It was a fierce fight and Alexander was nearly killed, but his forces prevailed. This victory opened up Asia Minor and showed the Persians that Alexander was a serious threat. After Granicus, city after city fell or opened their gates to him. He treated some leniently and others harshly, establishing his authority and building his resources. He was a master of logistics and tactics, understanding the importance of a secure base and the flow of power. He was not just marching, he was consolidating and preparing for bigger challenges. The heart of Persia still lay ahead. The Persian king, Darius III, gathered a massive army to crush Alexander. The two forces met at Issus in 333 BC on a narrow battlefield between mountains and the sea. This terrain favored Alexander, limiting the Persian numbers and preventing them from outflanking him. Darius commanded his army in person, expecting a swift victory. The Battle of Issus was a turning point. Alexander led his cavalry, targeting Darius himself and aiming for the Persian center. The fighting was desperate, but the Macedonian phalanx held firm. Alexander's charge broke through, and Darius panicked and fled the battlefield. His army lost cohesion and was routed. It was a stunning victory for Alexander, who captured Darius's family and treated them with respect. Next, Alexander turned south along the Mediterranean coast to neutralize the Persian fleet. Many coastal cities surrendered, but the island fortress of Tyre resisted. Tyre was a major naval base, heavily fortified and seemingly impregnable. Alexander began one of history's most famous sieges, lasting 7 long months. He built a causeway to the island, an engineering marvel, and eventually breached the walls. The city fell in 332 BC, and the punishment was brutal. Thousands were killed and many more were sold into slavery. It was a stark warning. Defy Alexander at your peril. With Tyre secured, Egypt was next. Alexander marched into Egypt and was welcomed as a liberator. He founded Alexandria at the Nile's mouth. Alexander consulted the oracle of Zeus Ammon at Siwa. In 331 BC, he left Egypt to face Darius. The final showdown was at Gaugamela. Alexander's tactics won the decisive battle. He marched to Babylon, Susa, and Persepolis. Persepolis burned, ending the Achaemenid Empire. Alexander's conquests were not just military, they were cultural. He brought Greek language, art, philosophy, and science across his vast new empire. This was the beginning of the Hellenistic Age, a fusion of Greek culture with the cultures of the East. Alexander founded many cities, perhaps over 70, many named Alexandria. These cities became centers of Greek influence, with Greek architecture, gymnasiums, theaters, and libraries. Greek became the common language, facilitating trade, communication, and the exchange of ideas. People from different backgrounds interacted, shared knowledge, and created new things. It was a period of great innovation. Alexander encouraged his soldiers to marry local women, and he himself married Roxana, a Sogdian princess. This policy aimed to integrate and merge the conquerors and the conquered, creating a new ruling class of mixed heritage. This was a radical idea and not always popular with his Macedonian veterans, but Alexander had a vision of a unified empire. This cultural fusion was profound, blending Greek artistic styles with Eastern motifs and creating new forms of sculpture and painting. Greek philosophy encountered Eastern religions, leading to new spiritual ideas. Science flourished, with figures like Euclid in Alexandria and Archimedes making significant discoveries. The Hellenistic world was vibrant and dynamic, laying foundations for future empires, including the Roman Empire, and influencing the development of Christianity and later Islam. Alexander's empire was vast, built on his persona, vision, and relentless drive. In 323 BC, he returned to Babylon, planning new campaigns, but he fell ill and died within days at only 32 years old. His death was sudden and shocking, leaving his vast empire with no clear successor. His generals, the Diadochi, fought for power, carving up the empire into several Hellenistic kingdoms. The Seleucid Empire in Asia, the Ptolemaic Kingdom in Egypt, and the Antigonid Kingdom in Macedon continued the Hellenistic culture. They fought amongst themselves for centuries, but the unity Alexander created was gone, yet the world he made persisted. The connections he forged remained. The cities he founded thrived, and the Greek language spread. His legacy is monumental. He was a military genius, undefeated in battle, and his tactics are still studied by military leaders today. He was a visionary leader who dreamed of a world united, blending cultures. He was also ruthless, a conqueror who caused immense suffering. His story is complex and full of contradictions, which is why he fascinates us. He represents ambition, achievement, and the human cost of empire. Alexander's story is universal, exploring timeless themes of leadership, ambition, the clash of cultures, the rise and fall of empires, the